It's time for more transfer action. Things continue to heat up. Things are happening quick. Quick things are happening fast, and we're seeing the best from Premier League sides doing their business very quickly. And first off, we have Marcus Rashford, who joined Aston Villa on loan and had a pretty decent, season with them after he joined. But now the reports are saying he has set his sights on a move to Barcelona, and United are holding out for £40 million. Victor, in your opinion, would Barca pay that amount?
It's a good question. It's a good question. I feel like 40 million for a player of Rashford's quality is not too much. That's for sure. He's better than the average of the Manchester United team.
Yeah.
But yeah, the problem is whether Barcelona can find economic levers again and whatever, and to buy him for this price. They should be knocking down the door. Honestly, if he was to be sold within the Premier League, it would be north of 50.
Yeah, fair point. I mean, someone that came through the academy ranks, scored over 100 goals and everything, and he's English again to
Yeah,
cap it off. So
homegrown.
yeah, fair point. And over to Manchester United neighbours, Max. City are pursuing a move for Ryan Cherki after missing out on Wirtz, who is, looking likely to join Liverpool, as we've discussed in recent episodes. But in your opinion, do you think Cherki is an ideal replacement for De Bruyne?
I mean, he's a good player, but I'd say he's like more of a winger, but obviously he can play in the middle, but at first he's not that type of midfielder Kevin De Bruyne is, and also, when you want to replace De Bruyne, you might look much higher price for the players, not the one from Lyon. So I'd say not ideal, and he's not really this type of player, so I'd say no.
It was the ideal replacement for De Bruyne.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, so moving on over to you, Victor. So, uh, reports are now saying Chelsea. I mean, reports are linking Chelsea with any striker that, as much as Brits, Chelsea are interested in that striker. But now they are saying that Chelsea are closing in on a move for Delap. By the way, we must add that in our previous episode, we mentioned that Delap was close to joining Manchester United, but now the player has also turned down United due to the lack of European football. Max, you see that there are consequences, for everything. There's a consequence. But yeah, moving on. Chelsea are reportedly closing in on a move for Delap. And the question, Victor, is what we've always been discussing all season. Is Delap actually an upgrade on maybe Nicholas Jackson?
Okay, first of all, I would like to point out just the ridiculousness, the absolute mental state of the fact that a relegated player is absolutely adamant on Champions League football. He's good for a relegated player. He's not that damned good. Okay, first of
Yeah.
all. Second of all, tied in with not that damned good. I don't think he's necessarily better than Jackson. Jackson's not great for, but the problem is everything is. I was just telling Max actually, everything is magnified by how much Chelsea have spent. Jackson isn't a terrible player, but he's a terrible player for Chelsea, who have spent over £1.5 billion since being taken over. So Delap an upgrade on Jackson, I'm not sure. Anything they need to look towards a world-class striker, not Delap.
Mm, fair enough. Yeah, I think I agree. If you have that amount of money to throw on transfers, then you should be getting better than Delap, in my opinion. You should be going for Gyökeres, Shesko, or other players, basically, and not
Exactly,
Delap.
exactly. And that's the problem. Like they've spent so much and they are still short of, like, apart from Enzo Fernandez and to a certain extent Cole Palmer, I'm genuinely struggling to think of another world-class name in the Chelsea squad.
No, those are the only names. Those are the only names that can match up.
I mean,
Those are the only
Yeah.
names.
they wanted to sign
And you've
Osimhen
spent a
last
billion
summer,
and a
no?
half.
If they can bring
What?
Osimhen this summer, it would be much better for them, obviously.
Well,
That's the thing, you know,
We've
they've
had
spent,
Osimhen coming to the Premier League for like 5 years now.
Yeah,
and
they
the
almost
problem is
stealed
they've
it last
spent
summer.
so much. They've spent so much that now they are actually in a position where they need to be careful about PSR compliance, you know?
Yeah.
And sure, it would be awesome for them to be able to bring in Gyökeres, but I don't think it's happening either. So they might have to go with Delap.
Wow. Fair enough. And over to you, Max. Still also in search of a striker would be Liverpool. In fact, all of the top six sides except City who have Haaland actually need strikers this summer. And, we already know that Liverpool will definitely, most likely, sell Darwin Nunes, of course. And now reports are saying, I don't trust this report anyway, but yeah, reports are saying Liverpool are interested in Hugo Ekitike. And the question is, does he actually improve Liverpool's attack in any way for a side that just won the Premier League?
I'd say for this price, he's not even the better option in Bundesliga. Probably I would go with Girassi from Dortmund on this place. Yeah, he's much older than Ekitike, but his skills, he's like, how I'd say, like, his play in the box is much better than Ekitike's. Ekitike is the player for open space, just running, while Girassi can fight for the every ball. I'd say he's like Gyökeres, but a little bit not this many scoring player. So probably having him for like 40 or 50 mil, even for his 29, would be much better for Liverpool, for me at least.
Victor doesn't agree with your
No,
opinion.
I don't agree mainly because I know that Dortmund would be holding out for more. He wouldn't be just 40 or 50 mil. That's the problem.
Yeah, but
And
he's
it doesn't
29.
fit. Yeah, he's 29, but he's still a very high profile player by Dortmund standards. And the fact that he would even be considered for a sale, that would mean they would be asking for 80 easy. I know it's a lot for a 29-year-old, but it would be a high profile sale for them. They wouldn't afford to do it for 50.
Yeah. Yeah. And just on a final note, Victor, Zubimendi to Arsenal is already a done deal, and the player has been given permission to complete his medical, ahead of a move. But in your opinion, does he actually, improve Arsenal's midfield, and how do you think he will fit in?
Mate, who gives a flying, Arsenal don't need midfielders. In midfield, they are as stacked as it gets. They are the strongest side in the midfield department in the Premier League by far. You're better than Liverpool, better than City, even with De Bruyne, better than City. Okay, Zubimendi is a luxury addition. Is Arteta planning on playing Merino striker for the long term? Because that's madness. I'm sorry, Colade, you guys need a striker. You don't need another goddamn midfielder.
No,
If
Yeah,
if
but
I
probably
agree.
Partey is going out.
Jorginho
Sorry,
has left, so Zubimendi might be. My problem with Zubimendi is not the fact that Arsenal signed Zubimendi. I can see why Arteta moved for cover because Jorginho has left already for Flamingo. Partey might probably move out as well. But
absolutely.
the question is why blow 50 million of your budget on another midfielder when it is not a
Thank you.
priority? That is just my question. It makes no sense to
Thank
me.
you.
Maybe he'll
We
have
should
to
be
be
getting a
second.
cover midfielder for about 20 or 10 or 15 million pounds, not 50 million on Zubimendi like
Do
a
some
marquee
smart
signing.
business. Do some
If you
smart
add, if
business.
you,
Get from a
yeah,
relegated side.
30 million pounds added to 50 million gets you Gyökeres, gets you a top striker and stuff like that. So it seems like misplaced priorities in my opinion. But
Absolutely.
Zubimendi is not a bad signing, but it seems like a misplaced priority in my opinion. But yeah, regardless, Arteta now, and just the stats that Arteta has only signed one number 9 in all of his years as Arsenal manager. One number 9, and even the number 9 he signed, Gabriel Jesus, was not an out and out forward
Yeah.
actually. So I don't know. Arteta would have to answer questions as to why he's fixated on defenders, midfielders, goalkeepers, and he doesn't seem to care about strikers. It's mental
It's
to me.
shameful. It's shameful for a club the stature of Arsenal. It's just as bad as having goddamn Nicholas Jackson as your 9.
Yeah, I agree. But anyways, we are just going to have to wait and see what Arteta plans to do. I mean, he bought Merino as a midfielder and ended up playing him as a striker. So maybe Zubimendi might be an Arsenal striker in disguise. Who knows? We'll just have to wait and see how everything unfolds. But for now, these are the latest transfer rumors making the round. And as usual, we'll be sure to discuss any new updates that comes our way.